Hi. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, another episode of Analog Spirits, which is a series I do on the channel where basically I review a roll of film and I create a cocktail sort of reflecting that roll of film and the colors in it or the overall vibe of the film because I'm an alcoholic. So anyway, for this video we are reviewing cinestill 800T. I only shot this film in 35mm, so I have no experience in the 120 format of this film, if it's different at all. Before we get into the review, as you saw, I chose to create a New York sour, which is what this is called, I guess. Basically it's a whiskey sour, but with wine in it. So
a few moments later.
Oops. Sorry if the lighting just changed really suddenly. I got up to get something and I knocked my light over and I think I broke it. So anyway, so basically I chose this drink because of its red color. For me, when I think of cinestill 800T, I think of how it affects highlights in photos, particularly red highlights. There's always usually this halation around them due to the removal of the remjet layer in the process of making this film. If you don't know, cinestill 800T is basically repackaged Kodak Vision 500T. They just removed the remjet layer, like I just said. The 35mm version of this film sells for about $13 per roll, so it is quite expensive. On their website, they say that this film can be rated between 200 to 2000 ISO. I mean, that would be a fun experiment, I think. Personally, I sort of had some issues with exposure with this film. It seemed like I always got a darker photo than what I wanted. I did try shooting this film at ISO 500 instead of 800 for this last roll that I shot, which I'll show you the photos from that. I didn't really notice a huge difference, but you know, if I shoot this again, I might shoot it at ISO 400 actually, just because I like the brighter look, I guess. I think it's just a safer bet for me, because I think sometimes I tend to underexpose my photos, so that just sort of makes up for a little bit, especially shooting at night. Like, I'm very bad at metering at night, so I think that might be part of my struggles. Yeah, I don't know. Even the photos I got that seemed like they were exposed pretty well, I wish they were pushed a little bit higher. But yeah, that's just my personal preference. Just putting that out there. I do find it a little weird how this is basically Kodak Vision 500T and then they market it as an 800 speed film. I think that's kind of weird, which is why I decided to shoot it at ISO 500 the last time I shot it. Cinestill's website also talks about their new and improved manufacturing process for this film. Basically, they say that it extends the shelf life of the film with less noticeable artifacts after expiration. So that's kind of nice if you are someone who doesn't shoot that often. You can develop this film in C41 chemistry, unlike Kodak Vision 500T, which I believe needs ECN chemistry processing. I'm not familiar with any of that, so don't ask me. Sort of have a love-hate relationship with this film, leaning more towards love because the photos that do turn out, I adore them and it makes me want to keep shooting this film. A lot of people don't like the halation effect that you get around the lights, particularly the red lights like I mentioned. I personally think that looks really unique and cool and interesting, which is one of the reasons why I like this film. Obviously this film is tungsten balanced, so it's going to give you different colors in daylight than it would a regular daylight balanced film, obviously. But that is something that I really like. People normally like to shoot this for cinematic type of scenes because it gives that type of vibe. Like the tungsten sort of makes it look like it's shot out of a movie, which I think looks pretty cool. Sometimes it feels like on Instagram the whole cinematic night shots type of thing is a little overplayed, but personally I love it. I love the cinematic look. I love photographs that look like they were screen caps out of movies. I think it looks really cool. So that being said, it's not the best film in daylight in my opinion. On their website they do say to use an 85 filter if you're shooting in daylight. I don't have any experience with that. I took a very small amount of photos in daylight just because I wanted to shoot this at night. So I don't have a lot of experience on that end. But obviously this is going to react a little bit differently than a regular daylight balanced film. During the day, for me, the colors were a lot less saturated and everything just looked ugly and muddy and just gross in my opinion. But like I said, I don't have a lot of experience on it. I know there's some people who have shot this during the day and have gotten really great photos, so as long as my photo was exposed correctly, I've had very minimal grain personally. So all that being said, I have a very large problem with this film, and that is some of the side effects, I guess you would call it, from the removal of the REM jet layer. So basically I thought this was an error in my part, but I found that I don't think it is because there's been multiple rolls where I had this problem. And I think I've seen it on other people's photos too. So basically there is this streaking that you get of red on some photos, and the first two rolls that I shot, there was only maybe 3 pictures that I had this problem with, but the last roll that I shot, it went across like I think at least 7 pictures. They were pictures that I was pretty excited about taking and they kind of meant more to me personally. So just having this weird effect on those pictures, like it sort of looks like it got fogged, like the film got fogged during, like that's what I was thinking was going on at the beginning, like oh maybe when I was putting film in my developing tank there was a light somewhere coming in because I do it in my closet, you know, take the film out of the canister and put it in the tank. I do that in my closet, so I'm like oh well maybe there was some light coming in from below the door. But I've developed other rolls and with one of these cinestill rolls, and none of the other rolls had any of these effects, so pretty sure it's just a strictly cinestill thing. So this is sort of a make and break sort of problem for me personally, because I don't want to have to worry about which photos I'm taking are going to be ruined from this effect. Now, I'm someone who likes unusual effects. I don't mind light leaks. I think they look kind of nice. I'm one of those people. So, for me to say that this is pretty bothersome, I think says a lot. It doesn't look right to me, and I don't know, if I'm paying this much for a roll of film, like $13 for one roll, that's very expensive, and I don't want to have to worry about which photos, you know, are going to turn out bad and which ones are going to turn out good, you know? I understand that that's sort of a gamble with film altogether, like, there's always something that can go wrong, but like, why? I don't want to have to worry about something like this. I do have another roll of this in my fridge, so obviously I'm going to be shooting it again other than that, I do think I'm going to be taking a break from it. I don't think I'm going to be buying any more anytime soon after I finish that roll. So I'll probably be trying some other nighttime films or just shooting digitally at night. So those are my thoughts overall on this film. I will now share with you a couple more photos I took on this film so you guys can take a look. I think that's it. Let me know what you guys think of this film. I know it's a popular one, so I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Bye! Hello. Hello. I know this is a really up close shot of my face, but you guys have to look at Jasmine right now. It's like she's using a blindfold. Are you okay? Do you need one of those sleeping masks? Jasmine. Jasmine.